Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Gunpowder and Freedom. So today's video is gonna be kind of all over the place. Have almost a little bit of everything going on in this video. As per normal, I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, which again, that's normal for me. I like to get up that early so I can get an hour or two of video editing in before I go to work. However, today is Saturday, so I don't actually have to be at work at a certain time, which is nice. So I got up and my computer's running a little bit slower right now, but I was just in here in my office. I left my cup here, editing a video, and Eleanor is sleeping on the couch. I don't know if you can see her, it's pretty dark. So I'm watching her, as well as, please pardon the mess that is my kitchen. Gonna be smoking these two pieces of pork shoulder, pork butt, whatever you want to call them, for my brother-in-law's engagement party tomorrow. Now this is 17 pounds of pulled pork. Yeah, that's a lot. There's going to be quite a few people there. Usually I wrap these up whenever I put the seasoning on in cellophane or saran wrap or something, but I was all out of that, so we just went with foil, wrapped them up nice and tight after we seasoned them with the Traeger beef rub. Now for my pulled pork, I usually like to use the prime rib rub. That is hands down my favorite rub from Traeger. However, again, wasn't paying attention, wasn't prepared, and I was all out of that. So my go-to backup is the beef rub. I think it is just an awesome blend, and it really goes good on pretty much anything, much like the prime rib rub. A lot of recipes call for the pork and poultry rub. I do like it, but I just find that the prime rib and the beef rub, hands down two of my favorite. I use those on burgers and steaks and chicken and pretty much everything. So the smoker is coming up to temperature. Whenever it gets a little bit lighter, I'm gonna throw these on and go up to the garage and do some work. Like I said, today you're getting a little bit of everything, and if this rain clears out, we might even try to scooch over to the property for a couple hours and get in some hunting. So I love these days. Okay, so it is raining, but as you can see, I have both of these pork shoulders on the Traeger here. Let's close that, because if you're looking, you're not cooking. Heard that once and I thought it was funny. Now I have this wireless thermometer set that really helps me out, especially on days like today where it's raining. Right now it's a little bit lighter. It was raining pretty good earlier though. Sorry, trying to do this one-handed. This receiver transmits the temperature into this other receiver, I guess. I'm not really sure what they're called, but now I get to sit inside and just kind of chill out and get some work done. Okay, so just got over to the property. Came over a little earlier than I originally anticipated, and frankly I'm pretty surprised. They were calling for a complete washout, and right now it's like a very light spit. Definitely am gonna be I am gonna be comfortable sitting in my stand in my new hunting gear. It's all waterproof. It's got a nice big hood on it, so this is actually kind of ideal because I'll be able to sneak in right now. It's gonna be a lot quieter than it would be if you come in during a dry day. You have all these dry leaves on the ground making crunching noises, so everything's wet right now. I'll be able to get in pretty quiet, and it is archery. So first time going out for archery ever in my life. Thank you to my buddy Brett for letting me use his old bow. It's a really nice Matthews bow. He got a new one a few years ago, so Brett, thanks again, man. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you lending me this thing and getting me set up with some arrows. So we're gonna go out and see if we can make something happen. All right, so almost at the stand. it's still raining pretty good. I kicked up some deer in the field. Also kind of snuck up on a couple that were just kind of walking through the field. You know, just nothing that was shootable, so, you know, no big deal. It's always neat to see that kind of stuff in its natural habitat. So we're gonna go ahead, get up into the stand, and see if we can make something happen. Alright, so first time archery hunting. I'm not even gonna say this was unsuccessful because I did get to come out here, sit in my stand for a few hours, just kind of clear my head. You know, it's always nice to kind of get out to the property and just do something like that to relax. I saw a bunch of doe, a couple small buck, unfortunately nothing that was shootable, and no bear. So it's raining pretty good, and the rain hasn't let up like they were kind of forecasting, so I'm gonna go ahead and call today a wash, pun intended. But no, seriously, you know, no big deal. Try again, you know, maybe one of these evenings after work, or possibly next weekend if time permits. So for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and get my wet hunting clothes off. This new stuff that I got, I'll tell you what, when they say waterproof, they mean it. I am completely dry underneath this stuff. However, the outside of these clothes are soaking wet. So I'm gonna go ahead, take these off real quick, hit the store, go home, check on that pulled pork, and get some work done in the garage. So I'll see you guys there. All right, so here we are. I think it's been about 4.5, 5 hours so far. Both of those pieces of pork shoulder, they're coming up real nice temperature wise. So time for a little bit of dousing. Now normally I have a sprayer on the end of this, however, not gonna happen this time because I lost it. So we're just gonna carefully dump this apple cider and apple cider vinegar mixture right on top of that. And like I said, that's gonna help keep it nice and moist. And then with the apple cider vinegar, you just need a little bit of it, but that's going to help break the meat down a little bit and make it extra tender. So all right, we'll let that go for a little bit longer. I'll take that other receiver up into the garage with me. Sorry, I was making sure I didn't knock over my bottle of apple concoction. We're gonna take the receiver up into the garage with me, and I'll show you what we have going on up there. Okay, so we're up here in the garage now, and that pile of plywood, that was scrap plywood that was sitting here, is now broken up and down in my fire pit. That is gonna probably be a slow burn because it is raining. Now what I'm going to do is I got the holes drilled up here for these recessed lights in this area here that will be my office slash work bench area. I did have kind of a brain fart, and I added a wire, or I was supposed to add, oh yeah, it's right there, okay, good. I was gonna say, I thought I did that. I realized once I ran these, looking at them like, well, how am I getting power? So I ran my 14-2 wire across this joist to connect to this light, so when I run the power from the switch up to the light, everything will be connected. Now I'm going to get this wire up here pulled for these lights. I have my switch box in. This is a triple gang box so that we can have one light switch for here, a three-way switch for here, and a switch for the lights that will be on the outside of this door. So once I get these all strung together, I'll be able to run these lights to the box here. That way I can just run power, done. Okay, so here's the wire going to the lights that I have these ones run. Now what I'm gonna need to do is connect this side over to this side. I'm gonna have 3 lights on each side. This will be a dimmer switch, so if it is too bright, I can always dim them down. Also, you can get these wafer lights so that you can change the settings from like extremely bright daylight all the way down to the lowest soft light. So they are a little bit more expensive than the regular recessed lights, but by the time you factor in cans for those recessed lights, they basically turn into the same thing. Plus you have more flexibility with these. You can kind of situate them wherever you want. They don't have to be set in stone. When you're pulling the wire, you just need to keep in mind that you're leaving yourself enough wire. Also, one thing you want to do is when you are doing these, if you can see it, I took a Sharpie and I wrote down what this one is. So this is for my work area back here. The next one that I run will be probably the lights over here, so that'll say parking area, and then the other one will say exterior lights. Okay, now that I have the wiring up in these rafters for the lights, I'm gonna go ahead and jump back down here. I know I said I was gonna be doing some framing. That might happen either later today or tomorrow, but I'm gonna finish running the 12-2 wire to all of my outlet boxes. And that way back here is all done. I can put my framing pieces in up here, run the wire, run one more wire across there, and then we'll jump on framing that again maybe later today or tomorrow. Okay, so I got the one long wire pulled. I actually got all of the wires pulled. I had to take a wire from this box right here out of this hole, up, catch this hole up around the door frame, dropped it down here, ran it through that stud, and got it all connected. And actually that was perfect because not only is this battery about to die, but I am out of the staples that you need to secure the wire to the wall, and my timer is going off here. Both of those pork shoulders are up to 160 degrees, so we're gonna jump down there and I'll show you the next step with those. We're just covering everything today, from hunting to building to cooking, so I love it, it's awesome. Now the timing on this is pretty much perfect because that little window I was waiting for where it wasn't raining. Hopefully I was going to be out hunting during it. I'm actually home, and you know, this is ready, so I can do this outside. Sometimes I have to take this inside and do all this work in on the counter, then bring everything back out here, so this helps.
Once your pork shoulder heats up to 160 degrees, you want to pull it off the smoker and wrap it up with foil. You want this really tight, that way all the juices stay in. Now if you noticed, I take some of the apple cider and apple cider vinegar and dump it in there with it. It just helps to keep the meat really tender and really juicy. I like to put butcher paper down before I put the pork back on the grates. This just keeps the foil from sticking to the grates, so whenever I go to take them off and the meat hits 208 degrees, the foil doesn't stick to the grates and rip, and we lose all that juice.
Okay, we're actually going to jump over here, this little area, if you remember seeing this, and cut more of these bridging. I have all these extra pieces of wood laying around that I need to cut up, and yeah, turn them into something useful. Okay, so there is another row behind these two pieces of plywood. I'm thinking that's going to be enough. Now, these blocking are going to be put in between each stud this way because I know I'm going to want shelving above my workbench, so then that way we won't have to search for not even search, but measure for a 2x4 or I'm sorry, a 2x6 stud to secure that shelf. We'll be able to just know that, hey, you know, 48 inches or, you know, 64, whatever the shelf ends up being up, that's where I'm going to put these blocking so that we can just secure that in there. The sweeper that we're going to be mounting to the wall will blocking there, so that'll be good and secure. And then pretty much just whatever else we want to hang and secure onto the wall, those blocking will be at a certain height consistently. That way we know that's exactly where they're at, and whatever we're hanging on this wall will be good and secure. Okay, so I got into this go mode where all I really wanted to do was just get some stuff done. I feel like you guys saw a ton of footage so far. This video is probably getting a little on the longer side, so to bring you up to speed, I trimmed off that excess plywood. Now that's getting drywalled, so I kind of, you know, gouged the 2x8 there a little bit, but no big deal. Drywall's covering that. I put this board up above the garage door header. That way we'll have a nice solid area to mount the spring of the garage door to. And then I was going to start doing layout and cutting the holes back here for the sconce lights, as well as the motion light with the camera up top here. But it's looking really nice. I just checked the weather. Looks like we have like one little bitty blob coming through here in like 15 or 20 minutes. And then after that, I think it's cleared. So I'm gonna get my stuff. I'm gonna head back over to the Freedom Compound and do some more hunting before dark, because we only have like 3 more hours of daylight. I got a ton of stuff accomplished today, and I really, really want to end this video with the pulled pork, because really that's gonna be awesome. We're just covering so much stuff today. It's great. I love it. So I'm gonna head over there and do some hunting. I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Now, as you can see, this pork is extremely easy to shred right now. It's super tender and it's just falling apart whenever I touch it. A lot of the fat does render during the smoking, but I still like to pick out any excess pieces of fat. And also, don't throw away any of the juice yet. You're going to use that in just a second. So now you want to take that juice, dump it into your fat separator, which you can see right behind me. It looks like a measuring cup. What this does is it separates any of the liquefied fat from the juice. Then you can pour that juice back onto the pork after you shred it, and it makes it extremely juicy and really, really good.
Alright everybody, so in case you didn't catch it during my narration when I was shredding the pork there, that all happened really early this morning. I took the pork butts off the smoker at, I think it was like 1 o'clock this morning, and then I had a cooler sitting outside that I put them in so that they would retain the heat, they wouldn't cool down, but you leave them wrapped up so that it reabsorbs all of the juices and everything. Then I, as you saw, I kind of unwrapped it, shredded the meat, and then poured all of the leftover juices into my fat separator so that I could separate the fat from the good juice that I know a lot of people make like au jus sauce or gravy, whatever it is, out of, but I like to pour that back on. It really makes that pulled pork really nice and tender. So I mean, it's Sunday morning right now. Me shredding that was at like 3:30 this morning. I don't know if there was a clock in the background or not, but yeah, I mean, when it comes to smoking meat, time doesn't even exist. But it is now Sunday morning. That is not kind of my typical Saturday. I just thought that was kind of a cool Saturday where I was doing so many different things all at once. Typically my Saturdays are just filled with work, Saturdays and Sundays. But occasionally I will get out and do something like going hunting, just to kind of relax and get some me time in so I don't get overworked and stressed out. So I got to do a little bit of hunting, got a bunch of stuff done in the garage, and I got to smoke some pulled pork for my brother-in-law's engagement party today. So Thomas and Cheyenne, congratulations again. We'll be seeing you guys here in a little bit. And that's gonna do it for us today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, I had a lot of fun making it. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning back in to another episode of Gunpowder and Freedom. If you liked what you saw, please click like and subscribe. Don't forget to like us on Instagram, and don't forget to check out our store on Etsy and pick up one of these cool hoodies that I have on now. I'd show you the back, but I'm driving down the hill right now. So have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you next time.